Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Glad to have you here. This video is made possible by my Twitch supporters on Push and Shop TV on Twitch. Thank you so much for everybody for supporting the stream and making this video possible. Today we're doing kind of a more advanced guide for nodes and trying to understand what's going on. First, let's talk about CP. Obviously, you want to make sure you have all your CP invested. If you're really trying to min-max as much as possible with contribution points, you want all these contribution points invested into making you more money. That seems obvious, but a lot of people miss out on that. I personally don't care too much about min-maxing mine at this current time, but it is something that if you are trying to min-max and make the most money passively as possible, because you can't play BDO a lot, it's very important you're doing that. It's also very important that you get your workers set up properly. And there's lots of things you can do with your workers properly. For the first thing, which is obvious, is getting everything to artisan. Get all of your workers to artisan and making sure they're always fed. Before you do anything, like after every hour or two of grinding, you want to be feeding your workers and making sure they're all fed. You want to make sure you have the right workers for the task. And we're going to explain how you can calculate what is the best worker for the task at hand. So first, in order to understand what kind of worker that you need for a activity, you must first understand what kind of worker here. Let's cancel this. All right, you first must understand what a worker's speed is. So you have work speed, you have movement speed, and you have stamina. And these things are very, very important to understand total. So first, let's go into calculating work speed. I'm going to change my settings here real quick. All right, so with worker speed, you have right here, you can see there's a workload of 400. And first we have to determine how does workload work. You can see here it just went down from 400 to 395.8. So not really a big change, but it went down. So first we must understand how this actually changes and goes ups and down. This actually goes up, the workload actually goes up and down based on the territory resources. So you can see here that these resources are currently at 2.3% out of 100%. And what that means is the amount of workload doubles at 0. If it's at 100%, the workload is basically as fast as it can be. And if it's at 0, the workload required is doubled when compared to 100%. So for this particular node here that we're looking at, this workload at 100% resources would be 200 workload. And at 0% resources, it would be 400 workload. Workload, the amount of resources at the material is actually live. This is a live. So if there's a lot of people who get home from work, these resources will actually go down and deplete to 0. And then the way they work is if no one's actually has any workers working on it, say everybody's at work and they haven't fed their workers all day, then these resources will actually go back up. And you can see here, it's during prime time, and this actually has gone down from around 100% down to about 36. And you have to see, okay, what nodes are in this area here? And if you look at what nodes are in this area, you have copper, you have more copper. What do we have over here? Nothing. And I think that's it. I don't think Coastal Cave counts. Let's see, is Coastal Cave in there? Yeah, Coastal Cave is on its own thing. So this is copper here. So everybody, all the new players are getting home. They don't realize that these copper nodes are actually really bad. And so because they're getting home, they're feeding their workers, and the territory resources are going down. If you actually come and check this into like the very wee hours in the morning in your area for your region, you'll actually probably find that this is actually maxed out. And every server is different because the way players act on each server is completely different from each other. That's what the green one is, though. The green one is resources. The blue one, for people, because I know I'm going to get comments, the blue one is for fish, for fishing resources. So you can see here, everybody fishes at Velia, so the blue one's gone because the fishing resources are at 0. It's not really relevant, but I know someone's going to ask in chat in the comment section, so I might as well answer that. So now we know how workload works. How is that relevant? So you can see here, this is 400 workload, and our worker only has, right here is 75. And it takes an hour and 10 minutes. And then this one has 100 workload, 104 actually. And then this actually only takes 45 minutes. So why does this one take so much less? And the answer for this is basically in order to complete a work cycle on this worker is 75, and on this one it's 104. So we'll pull up the calculator here. So if we take 400 and we divide that by our worker's work speed, which is 104, we're actually going to have it's going to take 3.8 work cycles, and the game will round up to 4. So this is going to take us 4 work cycles. Well, how long is a work cycle? A work cycle is exactly 10 minutes. Exactly 10 minutes. So that'd be 40 minutes in actual working at the node. Well, then you have to say, what's the 5 minutes and 31 seconds? The 5 minutes and 31 seconds is the time it takes the worker to go from town to the node and back. So it takes the worker about 2 minutes and 45 seconds to walk from town to the node, and they have to physically walk from town to the node, and you can actually see them in the game unless you have the setting turned off where you don't have workers rendered. So this one here, the reason this one takes an hour and 10 minutes is because it takes the worker, if you do the math on this real quick, it's 400 divided by 75, which is 5.6. It always rounds up. Even if it's 0.50001, it'll round up to 6. So it's 6 work cycles, which is an hour. That's 60 minutes of work. So that's 1 hour, and it takes them 10 minutes to walk from town to basically about 5.5 minutes to walk from town to the node. And once he's done, it takes another 5 minutes and 30 seconds to walk back to town. And so this is where we can actually see how important movement speed is. The movement speed on this worker is 4.4. This one is 2.5. Obviously, this is a level 1 worker. So ideally, this kind of explains how important actual work speed is. So if you have a worker that's at like 99.9 work speed, you should be trying to reroll that worker's skill so you can get over 100 work speed on this particular node. So if I have a giant, let's say, I have some other giants here working in Valia. Let's pull them up. So this one here has 93. This one here has 91. This one here has 75. So if we actually look at this one, though, if you look at this one here, he has 104. This worker, we can actually get his work speed up because he has actually node work speed level 5. And then if you look down below, he has another work speed +2, another one +2, and another one +1. So he's actually over 100, I believe. He's working on the corn node, so we'll cancel him real quick. All right, so he's canceled. And we'll just confirm that real quick. So you can see here, this one is only going to take 46 minutes because he's technically over 100 work speed. He has 91.3 base work speed. He has and he has 4 skills here. No, he has 5 skills for extra work speed. So if you add that up there, right, that's going to be 91.32 plus 1 plus 2 plus 2 plus 1.5. And this one here only works for nodes. It does not work for crafting. So it's plus another 5. And you can see here he's at a total of 102. And so here, it takes them 4 cycles, because we can basically take this number, 400 work speed for the node, divided by 102.82, and it takes them 3.89 cycles. So it'll round up to 4, and we know that's 40 minutes of work for our worker here, and his travel time is 6 minutes and 21 seconds total. All right, that's a lot of explaining, but it really shows how important some of these skills can be, because we basically saved ourselves 10 minutes on his work cycle. So if we actually look at this worker and how many times he can harvest in a day, right? That's 24 hours in a day times 60. And well, by doing this, I want to show exactly how important this is. So we saved, it's going to do 46 minutes and 21 seconds. Stress again. 46 minutes, and that's going to be what, 0.3. All right, so that's how long it's taking our worker to do 1 cycle currently. So he's going to be able to harvest the node in a day 31 times in a single day. That's how many times he's going to be able to harvest the node. Well, let's see what happens if it was actually different, right? Well, if it was 1400, 1440, and it was actually taking them 56 minutes per cycle. Well, then we actually can only harvest the node 25 times. So we actually can harvest the node 5 more times in a single day from this one worker by having just a little bit more work speed on him, which is actually a really big deal. So let's take 5 times 365, and each time he's harvesting it, let's say he's bringing in maybe 15 corn every single time. Corn can be sold for 1,400 on my server. So that's 38 million that we get over the course of a year. And if you look at this and you say, well, that's not a whole lot, but what if you have, I have like 70 workers that are working. So if you can actually increase your profit by, let's say, 50 of those workers, you can basically lose out almost 1.9 billion silver passively by just in 1 year. From just your workers, and that's a huge amount. And I don't think it's a big enough deal where if you are new to live skilling, this really matters. But if you already have artisan workers, you already have the proper workers, it's very, very it can be very, very beneficial to like roll from like a human, right? A human who has 100 work speed to getting a giant who has 100 work speed, because this guy only has 23 stamina, this guy has 35 stamina. So that can actually help you out in a really, really huge way in the long term. And it's just something to do kind of too, right? It increases your income passively and gives you something to do. And I think it's the main thing. So now we understand exactly how to calculate out the exact profit on a single node. Now it comes down to really, at this point, it comes down to min-maxing your CP, your contribution points. So if you're min-maxing your contribution points, you want to go either for housing that's very, very cheap. So the housing here that's really cheap is Heidel, 8-1. All these are very, very cheap housing. The cheap housing in Velia is Velia housing over here. Those right there are really, really cheap. I generally don't think the housing over here at Tashani Farm, there's some housing you can get here, some lodging for 3 CP. I don't think this is really worth your CP, but it is an option. Make sure that as you pick up the Ilya Island worker that you get there for free. Some other workers that are worth your time. A lot of people like picking up the housing over here at the Gambino Farms. I forget exactly where it's at. Maybe it's below. There was one down here. I don't remember. There was like one down here that was like really cheap housing. Yeah, it's one lodging right there. And then this one's 2 CP for 2. So yeah, there's I guess I'll teach you how to look this up properly. You click on the city, you go up here to the top, you scroll down for lodging, and it'll point out all the ones that have actual housing here. And oh, this, I actually still have this. I knew there was one down here to the south. I probably should get rid of these, but I still have them. These are really, really efficient. It's 2 and 1. Or no, it's 2. You get 2 here for 1 CP, and you get 2 again for 2 CP, which is extremely good value. And in here, you can get another 2 CP for 3 lodging. Extremely good value for lodging. I knew there was something there in Caltheon for some really, really sick lodging. I don't remember some of these other ones. It's been a long time since I got into here, but now that you've you know how to look this up, you can just go click on a city, right? Click on lodging, and I'll show you how to do this for Valencia, because I don't remember what any of Valencia's are. So we have 2 up here for Valencia 9-1 and Valencia 12-1. Apparently I have those for lodging from forever ago. You can click on this and you can see here 1 CP for 1. That's an average deal. This is 1 CP for 1, which is not really good, because what you're looking for is you're looking for 1 that goes into 2, because this allows you to hire 2 workers. So that's like an average deal, kind of an average deal on that one. This is a very good deal, actually. 3 CP for 4 workers. So you can get this one here, and you can follow over to that one. Anyways, just doing some math on it, doing some spreadsheets, keeping track of it, trying to min-max, saving 1 CP here, saving 1 CP there. It can make a really big difference, especially as a new player. I find that currently in BDO, once you get around like 300 to 350 CP, you really start having trouble using up all your CP efficiently. That's why I kind of just have him sitting on some CP, because I have all the efficient nodes in the game, which for people who are wondering, that's going to be up here. You're going to be grabbing nodes like Freaka. If it's good on your server, Nutmeg. Freaka is not really good on NA right now. Fig. Star Anise is sometimes good. Something to keep an eye out. Purified Wire. There's 2 Purified Wire nodes up here. You also can grab Nutmeg. Tef is situational depending on your server. It's also more Date Palm. Valencia has lots of good nodes. All these nodes are pretty good over here. There's 2 Tef. They're situational. Freaka, which is situational. Date Palm. Pistachios are always bad. Silkworm always sells, so I kind of think it's worth it because you're grabbing the Date Palm anyway, so you might as well just grab the silk anyway. But yeah, basically Valencia is really good for nodes and all the cereal nodes, which is like corn, potatoes, sweet potatoes. There is 1 sweet potato node over here in Medea you want to pick up. Wheat around Heidel. Up here, Northern Wheat Plantation, you can get barley and wheat. Duvenkroon, you can get corn and barley. I think these nodes are pretty expensive for the CP, but it always sells in the marketplace at a good price, and it's really easy to acquire all the stuff you need for it. So I'm kind of torn if it's actually worth it for the money or not, but it sells in the marketplace, and I'm a man of convenience at this point in the game. I just want some of this stuff that's easy. Trying to think if there's anything else here. That's about it. I've kind of explained the advanced stuff as far as nodes go. One thing you can do early on is Old Wisdom Tree has a bug, and it's been a bug for years since it came out, where it gives you artisan workers very, very easy, and it gives you the like gray workers at a very, very low rate. They reverse the values unintentionally. So Old Wisdom Tree is a really good place to get some easy artisan workers if you're just getting into Kama Sylvia, and then you can eventually roll for some artisan workers over here in Grana. I would do Grana very, very late in the game because Grana is very hard to get artisan workers. Not really sure why that is, but I found that Grana is extremely hard to get artisan workers for some reason. I can't think of anything else right now. If you have some extra workers running around, you can put them on fish nodes. Fish always sell because of Belenos mills. Valencia nodes always sell because of Valencia mills. Cereals, like all the cereals, like potatoes, corn, and all that, are selling because of beer. Beer is used in Belenos mills. That's why all those nodes are good. Chicken is used in Medea mills, so that's why chicken sells. So hopefully you have kind of a basic understanding of how this all works now. I'll see if I can come up with some more ideas for nodes in the future, and maybe do a video on what nodes I recommend. Thank you for watching my more advanced tutorial on nodes. Hopefully it gave you some insight. If you have any questions, hit me up in the comments. I would like to do another video on this at some point, kind of explaining a little bit more of the nuance of everything. So if you have any ideas for another video, let me know. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on my stream.